Welcome. This is our second reading for Jaime. Our guest, Mandy, and I are sharing your chart with you, and it was so exciting last time. We went over all of your vulnerabilities, your openness, and today we're going to go over your definition, your channels, and how you make an impact on the world, and then your inner authority, which is always what we come back to. But before we go into that, I just want to say hi and how are you? It's been a little bit of a couple weeks, and just want to say what's up. How are you doing, Jaime?
It's yeah, I'm pretty good hanging in there. It's I've actually been in a human design bubble, so it's been really interesting. I feel like all of these kind of pieces are coming in and it feels like confirmations of who I am. So that feels really inspiring to feel like, in some areas I feel, I am living my design, or it's a reflection of how I'm living. So yeah, it's been interesting to connect to that energy of human design.
Oh, I love that confirmation of being on the right track, feeling like you're in alignment, trusting and surrendering into the body, yet commanding your presence. Is that it? I kind of felt like that's what you just said.
Yeah, I do feel a bit of that. I recently heard that human design is a way for us to embody the mentalism of, because we're so mental about how we explore the world and where we're going. And so it gives us a tool, or it's a bridge into how to bring that into the body. But it feels like a map of myself. So in some ways, I'm like checking the map and then I'm already doing the thing, maybe like I'm living in this certain way. And then I'm like, oh, that's aligning. Like being an energy worker, for instance, it's like, oh, no wonder I'm doing, my focus is energy. I'm a projector. It's really important for projectors to know about that. So yeah, it's been really interesting to see that and feel that reflection.
You are lighting me up. I feel your emotional wave so strongly. This is your inner authority, and it makes an impact. I, as an open emotional being, a non-emotional being, actually it flips, and I'm the emotional one because I'm feeling and amplifying your zest, your enthusiasm, your passion. It's just so much fun. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like a blast. Um, like I was that, and now all of a sudden you're talking, and I feel your wave, and now I'm something completely different. And that's what happens when we all come together as a mastermind. Two or more people coming together, and we create a third entity, something completely different, and that impact on each other. So, Mandy, hi. Do you have anything to say about that? That emotional search? Because Mandy is defined emotion. So she must be also putting that emotional wave into me. She's like, what are you feeling right now? Are you feeling excited? And yeah. And so I'm feeling all of that, all of your emotional weight right now. I'm like, oh.
I love seeing someone find that confirmation in the chart. I think that's huge. I think people go into a reading sometimes expecting to be told, like, this is what you can do with, and not thinking it's going to be, this is who I already am. Right. And so there's so much that, like you said, you're already living, that you already identify with. And it's just basically looking at your chart saying, oh, yeah, like, this is great. This is exactly what's happening right now. So that validation is huge, especially for a projector, right? Feeling like you are being seen right now. We're kind of emphasizing all these amazing gifts that you have and who you are, who you're meant to be for you as well.
Yeah, and I did want to mention that the projector lights up when the aura is being recognized. So both of you are here being recognized by a strong manifesting generator, and also whoever's watching. Maybe the ethers, the quantum realm is already spotlighted, because there's no time and space. It's all simultaneous. So just the mere presence of us doing this is creating that recognition and that visibility. And so your aura will automatically light up, which is so fascinating.
Yeah, I
can
love
feel it.
that.
So, yeah, on that note, let us bring in your chart so that our viewers can see what we are looking at, what design, what your circuit board looks like. So we'll add that to the stage. I'll put on the details, and then I can fill in with some of the whatever comes up, right? Whatever my sacral responds to and lights up so that I can feel authentic. It's so interesting. As a generator, it's so hard to pull from the ethers, right? We response. And when the response comes from something in the now, it's even more dramatic. It lights up. So, yeah, so that's why I love doing this with you.
Thank you.
It brings more life, more zest, experience, especially for me. Yeah, because I've been in human design since 2000. All right, let's go. Let's go to another. How many times have I talked about the channel of community or the channel of initiation and wanting to be first? It's like, oh, help me. So you go for it.
So you have the G center, also known as the identity center, defined. And that is self-love, purpose, direction, just your overall identity. So you have a very strong personal understanding of who you are and where you're meant to be in the world and where you're meant to go. And that is then connected to your heart or will or ego center, which is very well defined and has, let's see, some of the gates in your design sun. So that is a big portion of your purpose. So I feel like your will center is so strong for you and something to rely on, but that is self-worth as well as like desire, will, motivation to do things, to be able to start something and take it to fruition. So this is a motor center, but it's like a cup. It has to be filled up and then you have to sort of rest and then refill it up again to be able to use it. It's not consistent energy like a sacral. Okay. So you are actually known as a energy projector because you do have some motor centers. So you have the ego and then you also have the emotional, which is your authority. But that is also a motor. And as you know, that's a wave. So it kind of does its thing. It's always sort of in the background, but you're always feeling that emotion. So you may have more energy than the average projector. So I think it's really important to just remember when enough is enough and to make sure that you're really cognizant of your own energy and when you need to take a break, especially because I think you said your business partner is a generator. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she is.
So making sure that you're separating your energy from her energy and not trying to match her in the business, because that's definitely going to drain you.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious actually for us. I'm like, there's no way I could keep up with her. So I just let her do her thing.
But then that also means that you come in with that really important piece and you share your insight, your guidance. And I know this is a little bit of the open throat, but it's like you have this ability to understand all sides. So you can kind of, with an open throat, you could either talk a lot and just kind of ramble and stuff just comes out of your mouth, or you can say what you're really called to say in that moment. And, only say when you're called to, only speak when you're called to speak. And then it really hits and it's super important and it really shines and it makes an impact. And so even though you don't have a motor connecting to your throat, you don't have a specific way of speaking. You have the ability to speak the way that your audience speaks. So it really hits more.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. This open throat has such a magnetic pull on many areas. If you look at the color, the hanging gates, there's the hanging gate to the ajna, and then you have the hanging gate pointed down. These are all antennas that are magnetic pulls onto the throat. And the 16th gate is reaching for depth over here in the spleen, which is, again, your incredible hotspot, because 70% of who you are is in this splenic center. It's on incarnation cross. It's not accessible to you until you get impacted by somebody else's definition here. So it's like having the shutters closed on your true purpose until you get in proximity of a person who can activate this and open up the window for you so that you can shine that intuitive knowing out. But it all moves to the throat. 57 is going to the open throat. You know, again, a magnetic antenna. It's not like you're missing, because the magnet of this throat is so big that you're going to run into all of these opportunities to define and pull everything out to manifest in the throat. The leadership channels here, you have 2 of them also. These. So looking at the opposite gates for you might be really a neat exercise to find like what you're reaching for. Because sometimes what we think we're reaching for is us, but it's not. It's just that missing gap that you think is us. It's the mirror, basically. So it's the mirror of us. And then and the biggest deal is the emotional center, your inner authority, your wave, access to this wave to be able to communicate it out into the throat are these 2 reaching gates. So these are the biggest ones for you. I have 35 for you, so I give you that access to your throat with my gate. Okay, Mandy has 35, so perfect. Isn't that fabulous?
I love
All right,
that.
that was a lot of information. What are some of your thoughts?
Yeah, it's so interesting being a projector and feeling like we're here to lead and guide, but through energy, right? It's not necessarily through words. But something that's coming up in my existence is that a lot of people tell me that I have an accent. They'll ask me where I'm from. Do you have where are you from? Yeah, I'm from California, but in some ways, and I think this is part of my own spiritual evolution of channeling, but now in human design, it feels like that's an amplification or a magnetism of that space that's getting amplified through others or crystalline energy. You know, I'm thinking it's crystals or something, but yeah, is that something there? And then the other thing that I wanted to say is you're talking about the mirror of that channel. And this is like another aspect where I go, oh, it's so funny that I teach mirror work. Literally, that's what I'm drawn to, is what I'm reaching for. It's like these kind of pieces of the puzzle just feel like, oh, I'm seeing myself in this way. I love human design so much.
Yeah, that is so powerful. I'm getting such a big hit on that mirror work, because if you do count the mirrors, let's call them mirrors, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mirrors on your throat. That's the opposite side of the gates that are reaching for the throat. So yeah, fascinating. Yeah.
I would say, but you also have the identity center and the will center defined, and they're connected together. And so that's self-love and that's self-worth. And I think those are major outcomes of mirror work. So I think you're really harnessing who you are as a person and then sharing your gifts back out into the world to help people become more of who they are and a better version of themselves. And then I also wanted to say on the throat, when I was growing up, my dad had this customer who had a Southern accent. And every time he talked to her, all of a sudden he had a Southern accent, but he never spoke with a Southern accent. So I haven't looked at his chart, but I'm assuming he has an open throat. And that makes complete sense that you're picking up, especially more of like a celestial body or crystal, something that's less, I guess, human form, because you're really deep and in touch. The channel or gate 25 is a huge spiritual aspect.
Right here.
And then the emotional center is also very spiritual, and you have that pretty well defined. So I think you're really tapping into just sort of those energies that's all around us that we just don't physically see.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's interesting to have, because it feels like I have to have an explanation for what's going on in a very physical or a way that people can perceive. And so it feels like I'm responsible to tell them, oh, I'm from here, that it ends that conversation or like gives the answer to that thing. But I don't have that answer because I'm from California, but there's something definitely happening that I can register in my own, there's some words that I can hear are getting lilted, or they shift a little bit. That sounds like there's an accent on that, and it feels like all of this human design part, it like gives an answer to that. It's like, oh, well, I have an open, there's like a way to express what I'm moving through that has not been there before.
Yeah, that is fabulous. I find that it's music. It feels lyrical and musical because of all of the access to frequencies here. Yeah, being accented. So yeah, it's like music. It's really beautiful. I love the way you speak.
It could also be being picked up by the 57 channel gate. I mean, because that is a hearing gate, and it's the highest level of intuition. So you could be picking up this energy, like a frequency, a sound frequency that maybe the rest of us don't hear, and then that's then being translated and coming back out of your voice, just depending on like who's around you, what's around you, because maybe you're not picking that gate up from humans, and you're picking that gate up just from what surrounds you. And so then you're having that higher frequency that the rest of us can't hear. So that's
57 is how that comes out. 57 is beautiful in that way. I have 57. Do you have 57? Yeah. So we hear the nuances in the frequency of voice, the tone, the vibration of voice. And yeah, so I think that resonates as truth for me. Absolutely. And yeah, beautiful. What I felt like I wanted to go towards is your defined consciousness. Okay, so we can activate the view here. Let's see if I could do it. The view for just your personality. So we're going to view it in the personality only and see what it looks like. So there it is. This is your mind, what your conscious mind believes, in active. This is always what we're trying to do, is move away from mind and embody the body. And the more we live human design, the more the red side becomes dominant and active and solid. It's because the cells in the body are starting to come online, and the red gets manifested real up front and center. But while we are deconditioning, this is what's up front and center, this channel of community. So you want to share a little bit of that channel in regards to this consciousness and personality.
So community, or like the people around you are very important to you. But you also want to feel valued and respected with that. So you may feel like you give and give and give, but if you don't get anything in return, that doesn't feel too great. And you may retreat and kind of move out of that a little bit and maybe want to be more alone. It's also your emotional wave, which is that build and build and build and then explode. So you just have to kind of constantly be working on getting those emotions out, so you're not bottling them up and letting them explode when you're not anticipating it. Because it's usually it's like the straw that broke the camel's back. It's not the thing that really set you off. It's just you've had enough, and that was just the tipping point for you.
Yeah, fascinating. So what's coming to my mind is this is the classic emotional maturity growth. It's like from child to adulthood, especially as women, and how we over time become this beautiful example of, custodianship or not of community and tribe and family, right? And so this is that beautiful arc of growing that emotional maturity on a mental level. And the pressure to do that with the 53 and the 54 as your conscious personality upfront mind gates is like there's a lot of pressure for you to accommodate this community, tribe, and family. And so, yeah.
That no, I was just gonna say that really tracks for me. It feels like almost I sense it as a boiling kettle. Like all of a sudden, it's like I don't, but I have to just like retreat. It's like I can't do this anymore. I'm out. But it's because all along, but I register it also as like I'm not able to speak in that moment of something that's going on to like nip it in the butt. You know what I mean? It's like I just want to nip it in the butt, but instead I'm holding and then I'm holding and then it's like getting more and more and more. And then eventually it hits a point where I feel like I'm against the wall and then I become like feral. I'm like, I'm just like, I can't.
Yeah, I love it. That was beautiful. We'll have to use that. All right. So then anything else?
Well, I was going to say, so I think it's important when you are interacting with people that you set, I don't think boundaries is the word I want, but clear intentions of what you're giving and what you're receiving. Because sometimes that may be where that line gets crossed and you feel undervalued and not appreciated, or that you've put so much of yourself in and it hasn't been received or given back. So I think really just making it clear what you expect in return for what you're providing, what you're giving, the support that you're, the knowledge, the gifts that you're sharing out into the community, to the tribe, and making sure that that's reciprocated up front. And then it's easier, I think, for you to stand up when it's not being, it's easier for you to say, hey, you're not holding up your end of the bargain, without having to really get clarity on that, because that was sort of that boundary that you set with yourself going into it.
Yeah. And it's easy for you to do that on a body level, on an unconscious level, because you have the sixth gate as your driving force. This is like an open diaphragm. This is open to receive emotional support, or it's closed drive. So what you were talking about is absolutely applies to this gate. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think that because that's the gate of intimacy, and there's also that aspect of being able to sort of connect with people on a level that they soften a bit. They sort of let their guard down a little bit with you. And so, yeah, I think when you really hone into that, that can maybe make that conversation easier.
Yeah, and you're in control. You get to command that. You get to be the emotionally mature one who's comfortable in their own skin and decide who you want in and who you don't. And especially with the ability to magnify their voice and to magnify their sacral energy. Who are you allowing, or in human design language, what invitations are you accepting? Which invitations are correct for you? Right.
Yeah. And always making sure that you are valued and appreciated when accepting an invitation. Because if you're not, then you don't even have to check in with your authority on that. It's not right for you.
Yeah, it's right.
An automatic no.
Yeah. And to say no. Yeah. So that's a good question. Are you one of those that are learning how to say no more often?
Yeah, I would say I'm in this evolution that is tracking exactly with what you both are saying, and I feel now I'm more hermited than ever before because I think that I'm really working with that waiting for the invitation and which invitation is right for me or feels aligned. There's some times where somebody will invite me to something and it might be 10 minutes before that I'm like, okay, I can come. It's not like I have it already in advance. So I'm like, I feel like seaweed in the shore or something where I'm okay, now's my chance, or I feel aligned to that now where I don't know that I was 2 hours ago or when they invited me. I'm really like open on that as well of being like, I'm not sure. I'll get back to you, or if I can, I will.
Right, right. And I feel that strongly from you that you're getting more and more confidence in the ability to articulate that and to be solid in that alignment. I don't know. I'll get back to you. It may be 10 minutes before the event. Is that okay with you? That sort of commanding of this energy, because it's okay. You can be whatever you want to be, and we are not going to judge you. I am not here to judge you. You are the one that is setting your frequency, and claim it. Claim it is what I see.
It's such a funny thing to command something that's really an I don't know. Like to be like, I don't know. And there's such a release in that. There's such a freedom in not needing to know right then and right when somebody expects that maybe from me.
Yeah. And so that is the lesson for most everybody who feels like they are letting people down. Maybe they should go faster. It should be a different way. None of that is true. None of that is true. It's only what your truth is that will create the frequency that aligns you to your highest, purest, positive self. And if we are pulled or dragged in any other direction except our compass, then our frequency is off. Our frequency is off. So we want to offer humankind, the highest, purest, positive frequency. And we can only do that when we command ourselves.
I love it. Amen, sister.
All right.
I will also say you do have a single definition because all three of your centers are connected together. So even though you do have the emotional authority, which has you waiting to make your decision, the single definition can make that a little bit more quick, a little shortened compared to if you had triple or quadruple split. So
yeah, absolutely.
I think that maybe just hearing that can take a little pressure off. That when you get that clarity, I think you're able to know right away, like, okay, yeah, this is exactly what I want. I'm ready to command that and put that out there.
Yeah, I'm getting
I'm going to
better.
remove this so we can all see each other. Yeah. And the single definition is here for us split. So you're split. Yeah, are here to help the single definition have intimate relationships, have connection. Come on over here. I need this that from you, instead of you as a single definition being your own private Idaho in a sense. I'm not sure if that's true for you, but in human design language, that's sort of one of the parameters that single definitions learn from splits how to have intimate relationships, how to have intimacy.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding the difference. I understand it's because I have the line going, but is the difference kind of like if you have more than one valve, like a hose or something? Like I only have one hose, but if you have two, then you have different avenues to proceed. I'm understanding it correct?
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have more ways to flow.
Okay. Elaborate on that. Yeah, you're flowing, you're going in your own flow, in your own sync. And then somebody with the split goes, oh, I need you to come over here and help me like bridge this little split that's going on here. And so they pull you in to help their hopes. Whereas you don't need anybody to be pulled in to help. I love that analogy. We're going to have to use that again.
I was going to say, it's like for splits, it's like having separate islands. So I have my head and mind, my head and ajna connected, and then that doesn't go anywhere. Then I have my emotions, will center, root center, and intuition connected together. So the two islands are not connected. So my head does its thing, my head and my mind, I get thoughts and ideas and they go off in their own tangent. And then my body feels something and they're not connecting. So I want to meet someone like you. I want to be around you to connect those together so that my mind and my body are on the same page.
Wow.
Does that make
That's
sense?
so cool. Yeah, that is really cool. That is really cool.
Yes.
I can see how that amplifies.
Yeah. But I did want to say your throat sort of balances that out because your throat is such a magnet for people, for like stuff to come to you. So it's like a beautiful uniqueness that you have. I mean, we're all so differentiated that these blanket statements that we make in human design have no relevance unless we get the overall picture of the chart. And so your magnetic pull from your throat and all those mirrors do something that's even bigger than a split.
That's so cool. Yeah, I feel like even with channeling, I'm channeling from other realms, we could say, and it's my throat. There's things that are starting to happen even in my neck. There's like movements and energies that are being released. I sense it as energies moving to make a space for the channel to be clear, and then even my voice will change, or some words will be lilted, and then in regular life, just hanging with friends or whatever, it still is there that those frequencies are still tracking in my language or in my dialect. It's so fascinating.
So powerful. The throat is the center of town. It has the most amount of gates. It is here to create the ethereal into material. It's a really significant place. So I am so honored that you are taking the time to do this with us, because I love deep analysis like this. And the matching of your life with this is so fascinating. What you just talked about, the channeling, the mysticism, the connection to the ethereal realm is just like beautiful. Yeah, I have goosebumps all over. It's really powerful, and the work that you're doing. So yeah, go ahead and share what are you doing in the world, Jaime, and share your offerings with us.
Yeah, I have an app with my partner, my generator partner. It's called The Incoming, and it's on the Mighty Networks platform. And it's a place to connect you, to your source. It's all about alignment and all these spiritual tips and tools to really get you into yourself in a different way, perhaps, than human design. So I teach mirror work there. That's where I have that offering. And then we have other classes in there. I'm also working with animals. So that's a really big passion of mine, being an energy worker. So that's something that I'm really enjoying. And I do other readings and energy work through my website, expandedbeing.com.
Great. We'll put all of that down below on our description for this reading. And then Mandy, go ahead. I would love for you to share what you do. This is great. What does Mandy do?
I obviously do human design readings, but I actually combine that with natural botanical skincare to sort of give you a whole body self-care system that works just for you. And my website is Blyssen, BLYSSEN.com.
And then We are doing monthly retreats in Valley Center, and both of you have been to the Radiance, Reclaim Your Radiance retreat. So every month we have this beautiful space, this sacred space where the frequencies of utilizing our map and interacting with each other to create this mastermind gets elevated beyond belief. It's like a retreat that keeps on giving, because the authenticity of who we are and how we show up is the healing, right? Yeah. So
powerful.
I'll put all of the information up. Yeah. Jaime was there and Mandy was there, and it was an amazing, amazing time. So, all right. Anything else?
Any last words?
No, just thank you so much. It is really powerful to be on this journey and seeing myself reflected through human design and through your expertise. So I appreciate you both so much for your individual perspectives, and then you're teaming up to really amplify who I am as well.
Yeah, it was great. We'll do more. All right. Thank you, Jaime, so much.
Thank you.
See you guys next time.